We're here in San Mateo Park where classic architecture meets an unbeatable location. We're walking distance from downtown Burlingame, super close to downtown San Mateo. At the end of this, I'm gonna share with you a little bit about downtown Burlingame. We're gonna walk over to Burlingame Avenue. But before that, we're gonna pop into this amazing home that I have on the market in San Mateo Park. I'm gonna share with you some before and after video to give you a sense of what details go into preparing a home to go on the market, but also as a buyer and seller, just some things that you should be aware of. So let's dive in and check out this sweet house. All right, this is such a cool house that I'm very excited to show you guys, especially being in San Mateo Park. Kind of when people think about San Mateo Park, they can think about older, historic homes, very charming, but you can certainly spend up to $8 million or more in San Mateo Park. But this here represents, I think, a really good buy for San Mateo Park. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through here. I'm gonna show you what the house is like. There's a lot of really cool things. So let's kind of dive in. This is to the upstairs, which we're gonna come back to in a little bit. But first I'm gonna kind of give you a sense for some of the living space. And I really like this. So obviously great rooms have become very popular nowadays, basically with the kitchen opens to the yard and a family room right there. This is a little bit kind of a hybrid floor plan from that perspective. Here we have a massive living room. And sometimes you see living rooms like, I don't know about you guys, but like you have a family member, like a grandparent, you went to their house and they'd have a room with like white carpeting that you couldn't go in. And those are like some formal rooms. I feel like this is a really formal room, but it doesn't have that vibe, right? There's a lot of space here. You have some high ceilings. We have built-in speakers. We do have a fireplace that's gas, and then you have a really beautiful view. Like check out this view of the front. This is actually the street right out there, but the garden view is just stellar. Let's pop over here. This is awesome space. I mean, you have some space in here or in there where you could have the TV, and then we have another room here, but I just want to kind of highlight for you, this is something that you'll get in San Mateo Park. Could you get this in Burlingame, like in East Addition or Burlingame Park in an older home there? Yes, you can. Maybe in Baywood and San Mateo, you could get this type of flow, but I think this is really nice. Again, we've got a lot of space. If it were me, maybe I'd consider putting like a TV or media center in there. And then let's go check out this area over here. This is kind of what I would call the sunroom. And this is really fabulous. You have another fireplace here. I think there's a lot of options for flex space, especially with work from home. This is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. We're on about a 7,500 square foot lot, which is pretty good. San Mateo Park, the median lot size is gonna be about 9,000 square feet. So this is slightly smaller, but when you compare this lot size to what you can get in a flat area in Burlingame, that's mostly going to be a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot lot. So in San Mateo Park, you're going to be getting much better value here than you will in Burlingame for the same piece of real estate. So I think this sunroom is pretty cool. This could be used for work from home. This could be just another opportunity to, have your desk here, whatever. I just think it's cool. It could also be a kid space. So let's pop in over here. I want to show you the kitchen. And this is, it's kind of a little bit between. You could call it a galley kitchen, but it's a lot wider than a galley kitchen. So I would say this is pretty open. I like that this table is here. Now, you could also have a much smaller table here, but there is a more formal room, which I'm gonna get to in a second, but let's just take a look at the kitchen. And this color scheme might not be for everyone, but I think it's pretty nice. It just kind of has a nice homey feel. Someone might come in here, replace the countertops, perhaps replace the backsplash, but again, it's totally fine, totally move-inable. This is a smoking price on this house for what it is. You have some really high-end appliances from Wolf over here. We have a Miele dishwasher. We have a double sink here. And then my personal favorite is having the ability to look into the backyard. We also have a nice fridge here, a Sub-Zero. If you're getting a new Sub-Zero, this is I think a 36-inch. This is gonna probably cost about $12,000. So these are not inexpensive fridges, and we do have some nice paneling on here. This is counter depth. It's absolutely gonna check the box. And then we have a Miele microwave, and then we have access to the side yard. So I think this is really nice from a floor plan perspective because you have the kitchen, you have some really good flow. I wanna kind of show you over here also the formal dining room. Again, you have some massive space for this square footage of 2,400 square feet on the ground level to have all these different rooms. I think is pretty sweet. So you've got these cool beam ceilings here. You have the good kind of cool beadboard or wainscoting on the walls. Kind of compared to a lot in Burlingame, your setback here is a little bit wider than you would typically see. So if I had to guess, we're probably about 8 feet from the neighbor's fence. In Burlingame, you're more likely going to be seeing like 5 feet. So just kind of on a larger lot lot size like this is just gonna give you a little bit more space, which I'm personally a huge fan of. I do like the bay window that's here. We have a little built-in bar over here. These are kind of some cool things. Like whoever buys this house, they might end up taking out possibly this whole wall here, taking out this wall, just making it more of like a great room. But hey, at this price, this is a really good value for what it is. So let's continue over here. And even just having like this little formal room, I think is nice. So again, lots of possibilities here with this footprint. And then down here, we have a pretty small powder room, but I think it is really nice to have a powder room on the ground level. It's a little bit dated, but again, totally not a big deal for what it is. And now I want to take you upstairs and show you what the rest of the house is like. All right, so just to give you an idea, how often do homes in San Mateo Park pop up for sale? We typically range between 22 and 30 per year. There's 753 houses though in San Mateo Park. So we're averaging typically 2.5% to 3% turnover, which is pretty consistent with most other neighborhoods that you could see. All right, so let's go ahead and pop in and check out the first bedroom. And if you're like me, you probably value natural light. And I know it's a little cheesy, but I think it's super important. It's like probably one of the top 4 or 5 things, at least for me as a buyer's agent, that I look for in a house is something that has a lot of natural light. So of course we do have 4 cans in this room, which isn't a lot, but that is pretty normal. But you have beautiful view from this bay window looking out at a huge maple tree, several other trees across the street. And that's not something that's like super common in San Mateo Park because of the amount of space and the lot size we have. That is not unusual. So this isn't like extremely rare for this house, but I do think it is like a pretty nice selling point. And then again, we have some pretty good closet space here and here. Okay, let's go ahead and pop in and check out the other bedroom. I will mention this house has a wood shake roof. If you've been reading any of the news in the insurance industry recently, you'll know that is not something that is super sought after. However, you can still get insurance, but make sure if you are thinking about getting a home that has a wood shake roof, that you just get a quote on that and make sure that it's something that you feel comfortable with. But I do like in this room here, we've got 2 twin beds. So this is perfectly set up for like a kid's room. This could be a home office. This room actually before was staged as an office with some built-in furniture. And it's kind of part of the process of preparing the home for sale. We ended up removing that and painting and redoing a lot of the floors. So I think it just kind of came out very beautifully in here. All right, come on in here. I want to show you the primary bedroom. And this is pretty cool. You know, a lot of homes, the bedroom will end here, but you can kind of see like this little, you can kind of call it an office or a hangout area or put a sofa here. And you have this really magical view of the backyard. We have some skylights here. Obviously, if you're buying a home with skylights, you want to make sure that there hasn't been a history of leaking. So it's something to kind of keep in mind. But other than that, like this is a pretty large space for what's here. Before we actually had some cabinetry that was up here and we had it removed just to kind of open up this space and make it feel a lot more natural, in my opinion, as part of the kind of getting the home ready for sale. Over here, we also have a closet. Again, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I get pretty excited about storage and closet space, but for a primary closet, this is massive. We just installed some new hardwood floors in here for part of it, and then we refinished it, and I think it ended up coming out beautifully. We just have a couple other things that we need to finish in here, but just to give you an idea, this is a very large closet that you would typically expect to see like at a much higher price point. All right, so we're here in the primary bathroom. It's pretty funny, actually. You're standing in the shower to get the shot here, but this is fun. This is the primary bedroom here, and then this actually opens up for the hall bathroom. So, you know, you have some very simple white tile on the ground. You have some good natural light that's coming in. You can see the beautiful podocarpus tree up there. So I just like this. This isn't a massive bathroom, but it certainly is convenient and filled with light. And then the other nice thing is you have a very simple but small ensuite here. And this is again for the front bedroom of the house. Again, someone's gonna come in here, they're probably gonna remodel it, but at least for like a kid or a guest room, this absolutely checks the box and it's like very normal. And again, you have a really nice pretty view looking out the window. So that was a lot of fun showing you guys that house, and I just want to show you a little bit about downtown Burlingame, since we are walking distance from the house on Dorchester in San Mateo Park to Burlingame Avenue, and this is one of the crown jewels of the whole peninsula, and I think most people who live here would agree. Now there's other downtowns that are also beautiful. Downtown San Mateo, downtown San Carlos, downtown Palo Alto. But I think that, I mean, I'm a little biased because I did grow up in Burlingame, but I was chatting with a friend of mine recently who's one of the top agents in Palo Alto, and he was telling me that Burlingame Ave is become even much nicer than University Ave in Palo Alto for what that's worth. So I think this is pretty cool. We have everything here from mom and pop shops to an Apple store just behind me. If you're into bakeries, we have tons of really good bakeries here. We have Copenhagen Bakery just across the street. We have Busy Lizzie's right behind me. We have Backhouse, which just opened in the last year, which is like amazing if you're into croissants and butter. They even have their own mill on site. And then from a dining perspective, you have tons of options for both breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In my 20s, I lived in San Francisco with my wife, and it was really hard for us to think about moving down to the peninsula. Obviously, my business has always been down here, but we love the nightlife. We like going out to restaurants. We're foodies. And so when we moved down to Burlingame, we just were like, wow, there's so many good places to eat in the whole peninsula. So it's very rare that we'll do a day night up in San Francisco. And that was our biggest fear moving out of San Francisco, was that, God, we're gonna be missing everything. I mean, we have a Delfina back over there. We have a Blue Line Pizza, which is same thing as Little Star Pizza in San Francisco. So there's so much good food down here, if you're into that you're not gonna miss San Francisco unless you're looking for the absolute best of the best. I mean, there's places like Kokari in downtown San Francisco that I just love. But I just want to kind of highlight for you guys, oh, and this is Mingalaba. This is one of my favorite Burmese restaurants in the whole Bay Area. They're amazing. But downtown Burlingame is really special. People who live in Burlingame come here a lot. People live in San Mateo Park. People who live in Hillsborough, because there's no downtown in Hillsborough. So this is kind of the place where people will come if they want to shop, if they want to eat, they just want to relax. You'll see teenagers when they get out of Burlingame High School, they'll go to the boba place over here. There's lines out the door. So you kind of see people of all ages. My mom and dad will go to the farmer's market on Sunday mornings here, which is pretty cool. And we have a major construction project going on with the post office and new high-end restaurant that's going to be opening up. So there's so many good places to kind of eat, walk around. You also have the Caltrain station right over here, which is beautiful. It's historic. The Spanish tile roof actually are from a Spanish mission from the 1700s. So anyways, there's tons that I could talk about. I have a 45-minute video walking tour just on downtown Burlingame. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, check it out. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you're thinking about making a move within San Mateo County or to San Mateo County, I'd love to be your Peninsula real estate resource of choice. So give me a call, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, and I'll see you guys in the next video.